If you are studying IT, cybersecurity, or computer science, you have probably opened a networking textbook, looked at a massive list of acronyms, and immediately wanted to close the book. OSI, TCP, IP, VLAN, MAC, WAN, ARP. It looks like a foreign language. But what if I told you that the entire internet, the most complex machine humanity has ever built, operates on the exact same logic as your local post office? Today, we are throwing away the textbooks. In this video, we are going to learn the absolute fundamentals of computer networking. We are going to build a network from scratch using real-world stories so you never have to memorize this stuff again. Let's get started. To understand networking, we first have to understand the rules. Imagine you run a massive factory that builds and ships custom smartphones. If you just threw a phone into the back of a truck, it would break. Instead, your factory has 7 different floors. The phone starts at the top floor, and as it moves down, each floor adds something to protect it and route it. Floor 7 puts it in a box. Floor 6 wraps it in bubble wrap. Floor 5 seals it. Floor 4 puts the shipping label on it, all the way down to floor 1, where it gets loaded onto the physical delivery truck. In networking, this 7-story factory is called the OSI model. It stands for Open Systems Interconnection. When you send a message on WhatsApp or load a YouTube video, your data travels down 7 layers before it leaves your computer. Layer 7 is application. This is your app, Google Chrome, Discord, WhatsApp. Layer 6 is presentation. This translates and encrypts your data. It turns your text into code so hackers can't read it, the bubble wrap. Layer 5 is session. This opens and closes the connection to the server. Layer 4 is transport. This decides how to ship it. Do we use TCP, the careful perfectionist driver, or UDP, the fast, reckless dirt bike driver? We have video about TCP and UDP. You can check it out. Layer 3 is network. This slaps the GPS destination on the box, the IP address. Layer 2 is data link. This adds the physical license plate to the truck, the MAC address. Layer 1 is physical, the actual copper wires, fiber optic cables, or Wi-Fi radio waves. Now, the OSI model is great for studying, but in the real modern world, we condense those 7 floors into just 4 floors. We call that condensed version the TCP IP model. They do the exact same thing. TCP IP just groups the top layers together to make it simpler. Just remember the factory. Data gets wrapped up layer by layer, sent across the wire, and when it reaches your friend's computer, it goes up the factory floors, getting unwrapped until they read your message. Now, on layer 3 and layer 2 of our factory, we mentioned 2 types of addresses, IP addresses and the MAC address. Why do computers need 2 different addresses? Think about you as a human being. You have a home address, 123 Main Street, but you also have a permanent physical fingerprint. An IP address is your home address. It is logical. It tells the internet where you are currently located. If you take your laptop, leave your house, and go to Starbucks, your IP address changes. You're in a new location, so the network gives you a new address so mail can find you. But your MAC address is your fingerprint. MAC stands for Media Access Control. This is a physical address burned into the metal microchip of your computer's Wi-Fi card at the factory. It never, ever changes. When data moves across the internet, the IP address acts like the GPS getting the data to your general city. But the MAC address is the physical handoff to your exact specific device. But this creates a problem. How does a computer match an IP address to a physical MAC address? Well, it uses ARP, the Address Resolution Protocol. I have an entire dedicated video diving deep into the story of ARP, but here is the 30-second explanation. Imagine you're in a crowded office and you need to hand a letter to Kevin. You know his name or his IP address, but you don't know what his physical face looks like or his MAC address. So you stand in the middle of the room and shout, "Hey, who here is Kevin? Show me your face." Kevin hears you, raises his hand, and shows you his physical face. That shout is ARP. A computer literally shouts to the entire local network, "Who has this IP address? Send me your physical MAC address." Once it gets the physical address, it can finally send the data. Now, what happens when you have millions of IP addresses? If the post office just had a giant pile of 300 million letters, it would take years to deliver them. To fix this, the post office divides the country into states, then cities, then zip codes. In networking, we call this subnetting. Instead of having one massive, chaotic network where every computer is shouting at each other, we use subnet math to slice the network up into tiny, organized, logical zip codes. Subnetting can get mathematically heavy, which is why I created a completely separate, dedicated video that will teach you how to do subnetting in your head without a calculator. Be sure to check that out after this video to master the math. So we have our rules, we have our addresses, and we have our zip codes. Now let's talk about the physical size of our networks. When you hear people talk about networks, they usually use 3 acronyms: LAN, MAN, and WAN. Let's make this incredibly simple. Starting with LAN, think of a LAN as your house or a single office building. It is a network that is geographically restricted. If you can physically walk a cable from one computer to the switch down the hall, you are on a LAN. Your home Wi-Fi is a LAN. It's fast, it's private, and you own all the equipment. Then we have MAN, or Metropolitan Area Network. Think of a MAN as a citywide subway system. Let's say you own a business with 3 different office buildings spread across New York City. They are too far apart to run your own physical cables, so you lease a dedicated fiber optic line from the city to connect your 3 buildings together. It is bigger than a LAN, but restricted to one metropolis. Then we have WAN, or Wide Area Network. Think of a WAN as the global highway system. A WAN connects LANs together over massive geographical distances, across countries and oceans. You don't own the cables. You pay an internet service provider like Comcast or AT&T to use their massive global cables. Fun fact, the internet itself is just the world's largest WAN. It is simply billions of private LANs connected together by massive underground and underwater cables. Finally, we arrive at the coolest trick in modern networking, the VLAN. Imagine you run a company with 500 employees in one massive open-plan office building. You have the accounting team sitting right next to the HR team, sitting right next to the IT team. They are all plugged into the exact same physical LAN, but you have a massive security problem. If an IT guy sends out a broadcast shout looking for a printer, all 500 computers hear it. The network gets loud, slow, and congested. Even worse, the IT guy could potentially snoop on the accounting team's highly sensitive financial data because they share the same physical cables. In the old days, you would have to physically smash down walls, build 3 separate rooms, buy 3 separate network switches, and physically wire accounting, HR, and IT to different boxes. But today we use a VLAN, or Virtual Local Area Network. A VLAN is like giving everyone in the room magic, invisible noise-canceling headphones. Inside the software of your network switch, you assign the accounting computers to VLAN 10 and the HR computers to VLAN 20. Even though they are plugged into the exact same physical plastic box, the software builds an invisible, virtual brick wall between them. If accounting sends a broadcast shout, only accounting computers hear it. HR is completely deaf to it. If HR gets a virus, the virus cannot spread to IT because virtually they are on entirely different networks. VLANs allow network engineers to take one massive physical network and slice it up into dozens of highly secure, highly organized virtual networks without buying any extra equipment. And there you have it. You just survived the networking masterclass. Let's review. The OSI model is the 7-story factory that packages your data. Your IP address is your changing location, but your MAC address is your permanent fingerprint. ARP is how we match the name to the face. Subnetting creates the zip codes. LANs, MANs, and WANs dictate the physical size of our network. And VLANs are the invisible walls that keep everything fast and secure. Stop letting acronyms intimidate you. At the end of the day, networking is just the digital postal service, moving boxes from point A to point B. If this video helped everything finally click into place, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to check out my deep dive videos on ARP and subnetting on the screen right now to master the math. I'm the CS Mentor, and I will see you in the next one.